Hi there, it's Sam from Petals.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's card was upside down. Today's card is this one. You don't want to know what's just happened with my tripod. Yes, the thing fell off and smacked me in the head. I don't know how I manage it. Anyway, this is the card I'm making today. It's mostly using the Press Petals Designer Series paper. A little bit of stamping, a little bit of die cut work. I just think it's beautiful. This paper, I can't stop using it. Thank goodness there's twice as much in the pack as usual. So I'm going to put that off to one side and bring in what I've selected. So I'm going with this colour, this pattern, dominant, that one in the background, and then a little flash maybe of that one across it. But I want to show you how I do it, because layered cards, I love to make a layered card. There's no science involved. I'm just grabbing my trimmer. There's no science involved in it whatsoever. So you take your piece of cardstock, you cut it in half in whichever direction you'd like, cut it in half and then score it in half. So I'm not telling you measurements because I work in, I can't speak apparently, I work in international A4, so yeah, I'm not worrying too much about the sizing. And I will complicate everybody if I work in metric and imperial on this, and then imperial on 8.5 by 11, which is not a paper size that I'm familiar with. So I fancy that one as my background. And what I'm going to work with first, scooch those out of the way, I'm going to work with a panel, and I'm just kind of thinking, what sort of a size would I like? I kind of like that sort of size, yeah, 5 centimetres. That's about right for me. I probably should have done a bigger piece first. Oh well, what, doesn't matter. And I want it about that sort of a size. Yeah, I like that. And it's going to be that way around. But I wanted a bigger panel or a wider one. So I'm going to take this one to that wide. And I'm going to take it to about that size. And like I say, it's not very scientific. It's just whatever size I fancy. What I do now do that is scientific is I look at the measurements and I cut a piece of cardstock for the border around it, 1/2 centimetre longer and wider. So this one happens to be 5 by 8, so therefore I need a piece that is 5.5 by 8.5. Oh, okay, so that gives me the border all the way around, and this one exactly the same. I'm going to take this piece, so that is 6 by 10, so this piece needs to be 6.5 by 10.5. And this is a really good way to use up all those scraps that we all have. Oh, that's already 10.5. All the scraps and bits that you have hanging around after you've done a project. If I look to my left where I'm all kind of prepped, to be fair, that's quite a big scrap, but I've got scrap stuff going on. And then I'm going to hang on to this bit for die cutting purposes. Okay, scooch those out of the way. And I'm going to find in my scraps box some very vanilla and my stamp set. Like I say, the only one I'm using on this one, actually I might do this one, Best Wishes on Your Joyful Day. That's that one. And is that going to fit? It will fit in that die cut shape. I have got another card that is prepped and ready to show you in a few weeks' time that uses all of these. And sometimes you only need one word out of the sentiment, out of the stamp set for that project. You don't have to use all of it on everything. So, and I'm going to aim it for there. Oh, these are jangly today, sorry. And what I've got over here is, it's called Petal Label Dies. And we've got that one and this one here. And the really, really big one. God, that's going to look lovely on a card. I have put it on something because I've got die cut shapes, I just don't remember what. There's little bits of Whisper White cardstock left behind in it, and I don't know what I did it on. I'll sort that out in a second. Right, so I've got my big shot here. this one I'm going to put upside down. And this one I'm going to do the right way. Oh, it just fits. Just about. And I'm going to grab a piece of cardstock to make a shim. Probably not the biggest piece of cardstock in the world, but you know. It didn't go through. I can see it's gone through fine on this one, but it hasn't quite gone through on this bit. So, luckily nothing has moved. And send it back through again. And now it has. It's all gone through fine. So, those down on the floor. And grab my take your pick brush and pop all the bits out. I've got a bit there from a previous project. There we go. So I'm going to put those over there. Right, so now to start putting it all together. So I'm going to pop that out. Oh, it didn't cut completely through. No problem. So a little squodge of glue on there so that I've got time to move it around and get it all lined up just nicely. That one onto there. And put all these layers together. Where's my snail gone? There it is. Oops. I've just realised I die cut out of that shape. Oh, but I can still fit it. That was my scrap. But look at that. That was lucky. For goodness sake. Oh, I'd be dangerous if I was awake properly. Goodness me. Okay. So that's going to fit, but apparently I'm going to have to be careful where I put the glue. Oh, let's just run out. Okay. What were the chances of that? Very lucky. Okay, so I'm going to put this one down, I reckon about there. That one I reckon about there. And this one I'm going to grab a couple of dimensionals for it. And that really is as simple as a layered card is. They are lovely. One paper pack, 2 different cardstocks. They look very different, don't they? How fabulous. Easy peasy. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.